Yeah, that was a surprise for you guys. Welcome everyone to the Nordic Takedown Podcast, episode 8. I'm so humble, and I am rocking this podcast episode without Jason this time. So I'm just warning everyone about that. He is the true leader of all technical things and good English. So we'll see how this goes, because I'm joined by two German guys. So I'm going to start with introducing Tobias, just because I want to keep Jan off. How is it, Tobias?
I'm fine. I'm surprised that I'm doing podcasts again after Destiny died a couple years ago, but
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do this more often in the future. Let's see.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. And Jan, are you also another Destiny survivor?
Yeah, I'm absolutely ready, and I hope everyone can hear me, since my voice line is quite small, as I see.
Yeah, we have been delayed a few minutes because Jan insists on fixing his audio that I have told him multiple times is all right.
Yeah.
But committed to perfection, I guess.
Or at least to come as close as we can.
Yeah, exactly. So, as we've said, we all know each other basically from Star Wars Destiny time. I think both of you guys were quite involved in your Destiny podcast, right? Or did you do something else?
Yeah, we did some episodes when Klaus visited Germany, but we are part of the team, and I might say an integral part of the team in playtesting and stuff.
Yeah.
But the podcast was mostly Klaus.
Klaus
Yeah.
Mads, right?
And I was something of a technician in our German group, so that's something there. I was streaming some games. I streamed the German championships, and we went around Europe and played some games and tried.
And you were also like responsible for a lot of recording the internal TTS league, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and we tried to commentate, but
yeah.
Oh, you're right. That was your thing, right?
Yeah.
You did that. I remember.
So if I can compare Tobias and me, Tobias is about playing and winning, and I'm about trying to create content that no one is interested in.
So you are basically filling Jason's role today. So you can take over from here.
Yeah,
but you did that to yourself when you became a father. So
yeah,
you can do you can do all the stuff from home. Yeah. You don't have to travel around Europe.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the tabletop simulator is my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we actually come from something else. We come from miniature games like Warhammer, Tobias and me, where we met some years ago.
Like more than 20 years ago, exactly.
Yeah. And
so we are all old. 20 years ago. Okay, so Warhammer, I presume.
Yeah, yeah, and there our competitive experience started. Like we formed a tournament group in Trier, and Tobias and I met, and then Games Workshop killed Warhammer Fantasy. That's a short version. And Tobias introduced me to Star Wars Destiny some years ago. And yeah, that's it basically.
Yep. So you have been cancelled multiple times, both of you.
Yeah. Your Destiny, Star Wars Destiny, got cancelled as well.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but
so
it resurrected in some way, and now we're here back again.
Yeah,
and Games Workshop resurrected Warhammer as well. So
yeah, and now that's a tough decision for me since I'm a father of 3 kids. Like trying to be a fun dad as well.
Yeah.
And introducing the children, but they are not as old enough, I guess, to both of these games, and trying to have time for both of these games, but that's not possible. So yeah, little of everything.
Little of everything, Dad. Yeah, and you and me, Jan, was actually also trying you, me, and Sith Holocron from Destiny tried to do some things for Legends of Runeterra, the card game, for a while, right?
Yeah, we had a YouTube channel.
Yeah, a Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Not very successful, but we had it. And you were the technical responsibility guy there as well.
Yeah, I tried my best, but the content was not enough.
We're trying again, so
yeah. This is great. We are admitting our faults. We have learned,
Yeah.
That is
yeah, but
and just let's just say we have a lot of history together, especially Jan and me, but with you as well. So yeah, I think we could ramble on for hours talking about tournaments, traveling, but yeah, maybe it's better to stop looking into the past.
Yeah, to look forward a little bit. So obviously the podcast listeners know more about why I'm playing this game, but how did you come in contact with Star Wars Unlimited? I think you guys started a little bit later, right? Or did you buy it straight from release?
I bought it just from release, but it was a little bit delayed. I don't know if it was delayed in Germany or just in our local store. But the game was released, at least the spoilers, like half a year or maybe 9 months earlier. So there was a pretty active tabletop simulator scene and people playing with proxies. And I just watched it from the sidelines because I wasn't so sure to invest in another FFG Star Wars game after they killed Destiny like very prematurely, as I thought. So to give a little bit of context, like we traveled all over Europe. We traveled from Germany to the UK, to Spain, to Poland, to France. I was at all the FFG Destiny World Championships.
Which were in the US, right?
Oh, exactly. And they just said, okay, that's it. Sorry, guys. It was a cool 3 or 4 years or whatever it was.
I think it was
I had a few hard feelings. The same goes for Games Workshop and Warhammer back in the day. So we played a lot of Warhammer tournaments. So I was very hesitant at the beginning. But it's still Star Wars. And to be honest, I mean, they carried over most of the cool mechanics that made Destiny so fun, like the I go, you go mechanism. And they got rid of the most annoying thing, the dice. So
you didn't like the dices?
You didn't argue there. They
removed. I think for me it's a competitive game, and they removed one factor of luck out of the game. So I think that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, as the closer you come to chess in a game, the better.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's just me.
As long as it's not really chess, right? Then
no, it's not.
Otherwise, you would play chess.
The closer you come to chess, the better for a tournament game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So with open information and no luck involved, and but I guess Jan disagrees on that. So,
absolutely. My way of winning is usually against
rolling dice. Yes, I can confirm that.
Yahtzee.
So the next tournaments that are coming, I'm probably counting on drawing the correct cards.
Yeah,
in the right moment, just when I need them.
That's a perfect strategy. Yeah. I think that, like as you say, Tobias, with the luck factor with the dices, Destiny at least removed some of that with having a very small deck, so it wasn't that much luck with the draws.
That's true.
Because you didn't draw 1 or 2 cards.
But it made cards in hand even more important. You had to use them for rerolls. There was very few draw mechanics. But maybe that's a discussion for another time. And you asked me how I got into Unlimited. I'm a competitive guy, and I saw the game and I saw that it was very successful and very hyped, and I like the mechanics. So I gave FFG another shot. So maybe they don't disappoint me this time.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
And for me, it's like these as Tobias and the group from Trier, they always try to get me into their games. There were some games So like Saga, that's a miniature game, and there's this Disney card game.
The
right?
Lorcana.
Yeah,
The
that's it.
Lorcana, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I was always tempted, but nothing was really striking me. So I tried Unlimited, and I really liked the mechanics since it's way back memory lane to Star Wars Destiny.
Agreed. Yeah, that was what my first thing as well. It's basically Star Wars Destiny, but without dice. And Star Wars Destiny was a really good card game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just Tobias basically made some. Yeah, he made some calls, and the guy
We got the gang back together.
Yeah, a northern from northern Germany, a friend of mine and of us. It's his name Daniel. You probably know him from tournaments, like the face, not the name. But yeah. And he sent me two starter decks just out of nowhere. They were laying in front of my door. I opened the package, and there were some 2 starter decks like Boba Fett and Sabine. He made them out of his cards.
Yeah, just with commons and uncommons.
Yeah.
So he opened like 10 boxes, so he had more than enough. And then he asked me, like, do you get back into the game? And I said, yeah, it looks like it. I just bought two displays. And is Jan getting back in as well? No, like he has children now and no money and stuff and more important things in his life, obviously. So I said, okay, give me his address, and G just sent him a package, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Now we're here.
And after that, Jan became the most lucky guy alive.
Absolutely.
Right? Do you want to tell us about your pack rate?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm basically just about playing, not about the collection or collecting. Yeah. And I got myself to buy a display, which is a big thing for me. I think you guys have 4 to 5 displays.
Yeah, right? Something like that. Yeah.
For me, 1 is huge.
Yeah.
I try to keep it secret from my family. Yeah, next holidays will be hard. But then we played a draft, and Christine, that's another friend of us from the group, she opened the first booster, and no one knew what that special Boba Fett card was.
Yeah, it was so shiny. Yeah, so special. Yeah. It was like we drafted his display, and literally in the first booster there was a hyperspace Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And I just said, oh, and then we just sleeved it and sold it like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I bought 2 more displays, and I had a Vader hyper thing, something.
Hyperspace foil, or was it just hyperspace?
Tobias?
No, it was a hyperspace foil Vader.
Yeah.
And a Luke in the same display.
Yeah.
Like we all saw probably the videos where they show what legendaries usually are in the same display.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it was like very likely that there's a Luke as well. So we sold that as well, and now Jan is very well off.
Yeah, and I even bought some cards now, some singles I want to play.
And a vacation.
Yeah.
For the family. First class flights.
Yeah.
How is that trip to Sweden going, Jan?
Yeah, my wife told me, keep contact to Adam. Keep contact. I want to visit Sweden.
Because we need a place to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That has been a running thing. Jan coming to Sweden. It's 6 years in the making.
Yeah.
We'll keep you updated.
Like Adam, don't bet on it. I live like 20 kilometers away. I see him maybe once a month if I'm lucky. So
yeah, that is rough.
Yeah, a very wanted man.
Yeah, he is.
Apparently, they send you cards for free, even though you just pack more value than you buy for. You know.
Yeah.
So, so there is like, do you guys remember the hyperloops from the Destiny days?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we talked before, since they they made a place in the big tournament that happened, right?
Yeah, because one like Bobby Sapphire basically, and his crew in Germany created has also have a podcast, and the other three are not from Destiny, and they had a hot take that Destiny players in Unlimited will basically get shit on by other gamers. What do you guys feel about that?
I maybe if Destiny was your first card game, your first trading card game,
Yeah.
that might be true. So we played a local tournament like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there was a woman. So she played like Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh professionally,
Hmm.
like semi-professionally,
Yeah.
and she just wanted to pick up another game, and she just like bought all the cards. I think she didn't even open displays. She just bought the legendaries and stuff.
Oh damn. Yeah.
Built some decks, and she just stomped everyone except like me and some other players that have like a common a Destiny background.
Yeah.
So you're right. In a way, it translates. Like if you played other card games, it translates over. But I don't think Destiny players will get stomped on in general. I think the two games are too similar.
Yeah.
That there is no carryover between the games.
How about you, Jan? Are
I
you
don't
gonna get ass stomped
I
or
don't
more?
I don't really understand the point, since um, thinking in these strategy games, strategy or competitive thinking in games can be transferred from different games to another. So we have all seen that. Like,
Yeah.
if I think of a friend of us who's been playing Warhammer very successfully, Saga very successfully. He was in Star Wars Destiny French champion, won the French championship, and now he won a German tournament with Tobias. So I, I don't really understand the point, since there
You
is
guys should
proof.
see Jan's really skeptical face.
Yeah, I think the point the Hyperloops guys were making was that like now that the dice are removed from the game, more like old school
Mm.
trading card game guys come into the Star Wars Unlimited pool
Yeah.
of players. And if Star Wars Destiny was your only game, your experience is very limited, especially what like high stakes tournaments uh, in regards to high stakes tournaments like money tournaments we see
Yeah.
now in Star Wars Unlimited.
Which we
So
never really saw in Destiny, actually.
no, exactly. And so I think there is a point in that there is a certain kind of pressure involved when you play for multiple thousands of dollars, or maybe you have even experience in poker, that I know a lot of guys like that play Magic professionally or semi-professionally have.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there is a certain kind of truth to their idea, but let's be honest, most of us play Star Wars Unlimited on a regional basis, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
impossible to say this early,
So,
but
do you think it's more a mental thing than a strategy-wise thing?
I
What?
not really. I think, but some like the pressure thing, because we never had the like $10,000 or anything hanging over us, but like just playing in a final on the stream for a few hundred people should be stressful enough for most people, um, and might even make you almost cheat. So, but I think what they might think as well is like, if there is gonna come a lot like Magic players, that they are coming from such a high level of groups, because there's so many Magic players, like that top Magic players might be just better, uh, because we have not been challenged by really good players from the beginning. But that one I don't really think applies for the top players. Maybe for the medium players in Destiny.
Yeah, could be. We'll
yeah, it might be
see.
when you are like the best, like one of the best guys in your local environment, and you go then to like a 5K tournament, and you think, oh, maybe I'm competing at the top, and
Yeah.
then there are some pro Magic guys, whatever, that they just uh, like stomp you. But yeah, th- th- now that I'm thinking about it, there might be some truth to it, but I think that only goes for the like really high stakes tournaments.
Yeah, and it's like I can see that like people that barely made top cuts in Destiny tournaments could have a trouble, like if they expect themselves with the same effort to keep going to top cuts and stuff.
Yeah, I think that won't happening, especially since like just the player base, it's so much bigger already. Yeah. Like Unlimited has more players now than Destiny ever had in our local community. So I think that goes for worldwide. I think FFG said something like we reprinted more of the first edition now than we ever printed for Destiny in the first complete year. So
yeah, something like, or
yeah,
it might have even been they have sold already as much.
Or sold,
like,
yeah. It's
something like that.
It's just a much bigger game, and yeah, there's more. There's just more sharks in the pond now.
Yeah. Have Germany gotten any like cash tournaments yet, like they have in the US, or are you as well as Sweden lacking a little bit behind?
No, there are no tournaments that I know of. I know that there is a tournament in Hamburg created at the moment, and I'm not so sure if they do a cash tournament or if you win displays or whatever.
Yeah. I think that is like okay.
To be honest, I don't know if that's even legal in Germany to just give out that amount of cash.
Yeah.
Or isn't that gambling in a way?
Yeah, I think we have the same rules in Sweden.
I think it's in Germany. In Germany, except one municipality, like in the north of Germany, it's very strict. They have very strict gambling laws here. So it might be difficult, especially for younger players, to get into the tournament. So you have to, I don't know. Yeah, you have to do a age verification and.
True. Yeah, with like more developed countries like Germany and Sweden, it might be harder. But the display giveaways is like it's. I feel like that is almost the same, right? As long as it's like the value, it's not.
Yeah, in a way, of course.
Yeah, display has always more value in it than if you buy it, right? Or is it? Or was it just me?
That's just your experience, Jan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's your experience. Yeah. But for some people, it is. So I think it's also more hype, I guess, to open a box and stuff like that. And I think it's a cheaper way to make tournaments if they want to, like for stores and stuff. It's better for FFG. They sell more boxes. It's better for the stores. They sell. They have like margins of on those things, and then.
But I guess if you have prize money, it's always the thing when you talk to other people who don't play games like we do, and you say, yeah, it's about prize money. It's much easier to get them or to have them accept what you do, right?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Then you become not purely a nerd.
Every time I flew to the US to play X-Wing or Destiny, I just told everyone, yeah, I'm going over there. And the trip basically pays for itself because I win promo cards that I can sell on eBay. That was true sometimes.
Yeah, you told me.
That was always the spin I put on it to sell it to my girlfriend, my parents, and friends that don't play games.
I even tried to qualify. I qualified for World Championship to go there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because I did it, and because you, Tobias, you told me it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, there were definitely years, even without qualifying with a flight, as I did in the last year. Like the flight was about 400 or 500, and the hotel, so you paid around €1,000 for a week in Minnesota. Yeah. And if you like grinded side events and like did decently well in the main tournament, you could get away with a couple €100 easily. So it didn't pay entirely for itself, but it was a big chunk out of the bill that you could pay with the promo cards from Worlds.
Yeah. And I love that part of the game, the competitive part, since I'm not that good at it, but I love to watch it or to follow other people having success. Like I remember when I got up in the morning just to watch your games which got live streamed in Europe,
Yeah.
or in the US. That was just awesome. And if we can expect something like this from Star Wars Unlimited, I think that's a good thing for
Yeah.
everyone.
I hope there will be like a little bit more price support from Destiny, because like I think I went to one tournament when it pays for itself for me. I think it was the Galactic Qualifiers once, because it was like 4 small tournaments and you got these amazing like promo cards,
The
a
spot
spot
class.
glass, yeah,
Mm.
and
I
those
still
like
have
sold like
some.
crazy in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I even backed. I don't know how much money I backed, but I went definitely minus on going second place in Euros in Krakow. I did not make money of that.
Yeah. So I unsleeved all my Destiny cards recently because
Yeah.
they all have inner sleeves and
Oh.
sleeves still on them, and I need those now.
Yeah.
And it's much cheaper to just watch a movie and unsleeve a couple hundred cards than just buy all the sleeves again.
True.
Yeah, there were some spot classes in between, and I looked them up on eBay, and it's like,
Not much anymore, right?
yeah, I should have sold them like a couple years ago, but yeah.
Yeah. I was lucky because I quit the game before the last set released, so I was just I dumped all the things like and got a few €100 for it, for the whole collection, from some gatherer, I think. But so I don't have much dice laying around anymore.
Yeah, they're in my attic now.
I
Yeah.
I actually built a draft cube out of all the cards I had, and we tried it, Tobias, right?
Yeah, we tried once or twice, I think.
Yeah, and
It works decently well. It's fine. It's
it's
still a good game.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and you can build draft cubes with Star Wars Unlimited cards as well. I heard.
Yeah, I
So
heard some rumors about it, but I've never really understood how it worked, so it just
I mean,
went past my head.
at least it's a way right now with the product shortage
yeah,
to at least
Oh,
if
yeah.
you want to play drafts, it's a way to play drafts or get better in drafts. I mean, the whole draft itself is a completely new aspect to a competitive game.
no.
I remember
Yeah.
Magic back in the day. I don't know if they still do it. When there were larger tournaments, there was one day you played draft, then you played sealed, then you played constructed. So
Yep.
you had to be good at all 3 parts of the game in order to be good at the game and like
Yeah,
get to
that
the
is
top.
you need to really invest time to get good in all those formats.
No.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
but a
but you can
draft.
do it in Magic because if you are good, it's like a job. But
Yeah.
I don't see Star Wars Unlimited getting that big. I
No,
don't think any card game will get that big.
I think you might be able to like semi-pro it if you're really good and if they have solid price support. But we know nothing about the price support yet. So I think it looks solid, the store champs, with the at least it's a legendary card with like the print of top 4 finalist and champion. So maybe it could be worth something, and then they should have more valuable things for the whatever they called the next things that comes in the fall.
Let's see what they would show us in the future.
Yeah.
So talking about tournaments, there was a tournament in the US, I think, 5K.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a shitload of money.
That's a shitload of money. It doesn't sound that much, but it is.
For a day playing cards, I think, yeah.
It's pretty good. Like for referencing in Sweden, 1K is like 100 euro. So when I say 5K at home, it's not the same as 5K in US dollars. But that is pretty sick, and it was won by I think it was for me at least, and for most people, it was kind of a surprise, the deck that won.
Yeah, it was definitely.
It was Darth Vader.
That it was.
Yeah.
And it was not the like traditional Darth Vader, like with the green ramp thing, to make Vader come out and just smash pieces.
Yeah, that was my first deck that I built.
Same.
And I don't think that Vader winning a big tournament is a big surprise. It's more that it's a blue Vader winning the big tournament. I mean, when I look at it now, it basically looks like an Iden deck, or at least it has some similarities, which is no surprise when you have like 252 cards in total to choose from. But I think winning a Vader deck in blue, winning, and that there is absolutely no Iden deck in the top 16, I think that's the two big surprises for me, looking at the finals and at the standings here.
Yeah, because like for me, it felt like running Vader control like that would be like a worse version of Iden. Like before, apparently I'm wrong, you know.
But yeah, it doesn't have the heal from Iden. But at the other hand, it can close out the game much faster with Vader and his lightsaber. And you have the 30 hit point base.
Yeah.
So you make up for a little bit of the Iden healing. Usually you play Iden with 25 hit points.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's
so I can see why this deck succeeded. And then you have, which you shouldn't be underestimating, is the Vader ping every round.
It becomes a little bit, right? Yeah.
I have a question here. And maybe could it be that spotting a Force user is a thing as well? Since Vader himself, the leader, is a Force user. I'm a noob here, so maybe that's a dumb question. Like Force choke?
Yeah.
Isn't it like better if you see a Force user?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can play the red Force powers in this deck.
And he has one Force lightning.
Yeah.
So yeah, they become a little bit stronger in the late game, indeed.
And he runs 2 Palpatines, so you have another Force user to spot on. But I think it's, if you look at it, it's a very I don't want to smash the guy who won it, but it looks like basically it builds itself, the deck. It's very it's nothing really new, but it's just a strong card, strong combination, strong leader. And maybe it was just unexpected from all the other guys in the top 16 that they didn't prepare for the deck.
Yeah, do you know if there was like open deck list for the top 16? Because if it was closed deck list, I could see him like winning things by a little bit surprise if people didn't like tell people around. Because my first thing was not going to be it's a mill thing.
Unfortunately, I don't know. That was something I wanted to ask you guys, but that's a question we had at the first tournament we went to if we play with open or closed deck lists.
Yeah.
So it was just a local tournament, like, I don't know, 15 players or something. And most of them wanted to play with open deck lists.
Yeah.
So it's, I'm interested to see how that goes in the future. If there is an official FFG ruling, how we do that in the future. Or is it just like, if it changes from tournament to tournament?
Yeah, because
as you said, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
I'd always prefer open deck lists. That's just to throw an opinion in here.
Yeah, you're allowed.
I do as well. Yeah.
Yeah, since you can always, like you said, spy on decks or stand behind the player to find.
Yeah, but that is so
cards.
sad.
Yeah, and I don't want that to happen. Or
no,
even though for me, I am looking forward to stream games. On bigger tournaments maybe, and then people don't want to be in the stream since someone could see their secret deck card, tech card. I'd always prefer open deck lists, at least in the top 16.
Yeah, I think there's an argument to make for it, like in both directions. I like open deck lists because it makes, in my opinion, it makes better players better because they know what to expect.
Yeah,
and it takes a little bit, the element of surprise gets lost. But for someone who has a homebrew deck, like who truly innovates and doesn't just copy pasted something that won the last big tournament, it's a disadvantage because a good player sees what he came up with. It's not such a big thing. It's not such a big thing now with the very limited card pool, but the bigger the game gets, like even the next expansion, it's like I think 262 cards. It's like even bigger than the first one.
Yeah.
So it gets a very big card pool, and so you come up with very unique ideas, at least at the beginning of a new cycle. And if you play with open deck lists, I don't know if that's good for innovation. But for an overall tournament, I prefer open deck list as well.
Yeah, me too. I think, and innovation is already a little bit like in a disadvantage in this game because you play best of threes even in Swiss. So you can, if you get surprised in the first game, you can still like sideboard and really know what he's doing and try to come back. Like in other games where I've been playing, where it's like best of one, you just get the win if you surprise someone.
Yeah. But I like the best of three as well.
Yeah, me
as
too.
I said before, like if you have the game has a very weak mulligan, or not a very weak, but a pretty weak mulligan.
I would say pretty weak. It's interesting, but pretty weak. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just get trashed by your own drawing.
Yeah.
And in a best of three, you can afford to lose a game to your own bad drawing. Even if you are clearly the better player, you can lose to an unlucky draw.
Yeah.
And that's remedied by the best of three. So I'm a very big fan of that. And to add to that, the first tournament we played in Cologne a couple of weeks ago, they hard limited the time to 50 minutes.
Ooh.
And that was it was not enough, especially since the game is so new. Yeah. Everyone was still reading cards. And like most games that weren't aggro versus mid-range or aggro versus aggro just ended in a draw or in a like one guy conceding, because the draw gets counted as a loss for both players. So yeah, I think
it's like our pre-release. I think half of the games went to time.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a bit of a change for the tournament organizers to allow for at least 55 or 60 minutes.
Yeah, that, or like I see the point with the time limit. It's 55, right? It should be. It's the rule.
I think the official is 55. Yeah.
Because now if we look forward, we can start talking a little bit about the developing in meta with all these control decks and late game decks. Like they can't play a best of three like all the three games.
Yeah, that's true.
And that is quite interesting because if you run that deck, you basically bet everything on game one, or you're not going to
stall the game to win 1-0.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Like that concept of playing?
I'm thinking about if they didn't like maybe anticipated that, the developers, and that's the reason why they limited it to 55 minutes. I don't know.
I'd not like that. I'd increase the time to 1 hour and 30 minutes. I come from Warhammer, so rounds are at 2 hours or 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And since you remember, Adam, when we played Runeterra, I preferred the late game decks.
You were always playing the funniest deck. Yeah.
Sure. So when you have your combo up and in the end you just stomp with. Nowadays, that's why I picked up Palpatine first, I think. And that's probably a very slow deck.
Yeah, it is. And you are undefeated against Boba Fett with it, right?
Yes, against you.
Yes.
all my games. All my games I made.
Yeah, but I think beating Boba Fett is like the key to success still. If you look at the meta at the 5K tournament, Boba is still the dominating character, and even in the top 16, it was like 5 Bobas in there at least. 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. Yeah, so I think if your Palpatine deck has a good chance of beating Boba, in green and in yellow, maybe you should keep playing it, Jan.
Yeah, I can tell you what the strategy is, since I have so much experience.
Yeah, but you need 1.5 minutes, 1.5 hours.
I have just one thought. I don't know if that's true. You can correct me.
Yeah.
But keeping Boba away from his action is probably the way to go, right? So in round 5, if you keep a card to exhaust him, or if you keep, since he's not ambush, right?
Yeah.
He comes into play, you exhaust him, he doesn't get the 2 resources. I heard that the 5th round from the Boba Fett deck is the round way to go for him.
The 5 resource round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can just exhaust him and kill him then, and in the rounds before, like against you, I played a lot of what's the card called where you get a resource?
Resupply or the
Resupply.
technician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he has no unit to kill, or if you play the technician, he has to kill the technician, and that helps your ramp deck.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that a strategy, or was it just you had bad draws, or what is the point?
No, I think you're right. Like from your point of view, like your deck, that is the way to play. And most Boba players do count on that 5 resource round. They want to play for 8 resources or 7, and if you can catch them in that, like in their cycle, that you can screw up the round completely and win the game by it. So that I think is what good players are doing now. Like actually are willing to pass and concede momentum to just screw over the Boba Fett on his super turn. And you did it twice. I don't think I drew that bad actually. I was though very surprised that you were winning. So I have to.
Yeah, you let me win
just...
since I have to be kept in the game.
Yes, basically, I need somewhere to stay when I go to Germany because I apparently travel.
Yeah, you're always welcome.
Please
come to our tournaments.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, next Saturday. Just come over.
Oh yeah, next Saturday.
Next Saturday. I thought we have 2 weeks left.
No, next Saturday.
Oh.
You need some more games, Jan.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but even if you can keep Boba off his 2 resources in the 5 resource round, I think he's still too, like, his body is still too big. He's 4/7 for 5. That's just, he's overstated and too cheap.
So hard.
Yeah, and his ability might be the best ability of all the leaders.
Yeah.
So
him and Han Solo for me are there. You know. Ability
wise. Even the 1 resource before he flips over.
Yeah.
Is such a big deal. You see it. I mean, the laser technician and resupply were basically in all decks. Like in the first month, everyone played them.
Yeah.
So and he has a built-in resupply basically every turn. So that shows you how powerful he is. And I think we won't get rid of him until the next set drops. And even then,
I think it's likely he stays a couple of sets actually.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's so overstated.
Yeah, and the other Boba Fett as well, the card which you have.
Oh yeah, the 3 cost. Yeah. That is such a busted card.
They are probably Boba Fett fan.
Yeah, I feel like I have 2 theories about this. Either the playtesting team just couldn't use Boba Fett's ability because they have to value it so weak to give him 4/7 stats, or they knew that they are printing the most awesome showcase ever. And they want him to be so in demand. So it's like we bump him with 2 HP extra, and then let's release and see what happens.
My theory was that there was an argument who they should put in the first 2-player starter, and it was like Disney saying it has to be Vader and Luke.
Yeah.
And they wanted to put Boba in there, and they weren't allowed to, and so they just made him like the 3rd main character in the first set.
So everyone has Disney to thank for this.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. What do you think about these cards that are probably game ending or just too strong? Like Vader is a very expensive card. Luke, Tobias told me when he enters the field, usually if he enters the field in a normal state of the game, you probably win. And design-wise, I actually really dislike that because cards are very expensive and I don't have these cards. I can't afford them.
How?
But I think like Luke and Vader are like, they're powerful, and in some cases game ending when they enter, like the Vader and Luke units.
Yeah.
Um,
Luke has more potential for game ending, I think.
Yeah, because he removes and is a big body, but
Yeah.
they aren't like over the top powerful in my opinion. So
No, I think they are good. Like they are the best 7 drops, but like for Vader, for example, like if you want to go budget, Dooku is not like miles down, for
no, he
example.
isn't. No.
So
And yeah.
So an 8 drop is usually better than Vader.
Yeah. The reinforcement walker, home 1, like those things are. I think they are better in most cases.
Yeah. Their impact isn't that direct. Like it's not so obvious what they do for someone who's not so into the game.
Yeah.
Like they don't just remove a guy and then swing for 5 or 6. But their impact is much bigger, I think. Yeah.
So I think the most busted one is probably the one you mentioned first, the Boba Fett legendary. Like he's gonna be around forever. They can't power creep him out because we're gonna have so many busted 3-cost cards.
Yeah.
In Destiny, they changed cards. Not that we have to talk about this right now, but
yeah. Oh, you mean
it's
they
quite
errata
early.
the cards? Yeah.
Yeah, like Snoke.
Yeah. Like
Snoke.
Snoke,
but Snoke was that powerful over the top powerful.
Yeah.
And we still don't, as far as I know, we still don't know what FFG's way will be with cycling old sets out.
We don't know anything about balancing or
will we play basically just an eternal format with everything, or do we get cycles like in Magic? Do we have multiple formats like an eternity format? Just the newest drop or whatever. So I'm pretty sure there will be a time when we get rid of the original Boba, but I'm pretty sure there will be a new Boba at that point.
Yeah, probably.
They like him. They absolutely like him.
Yeah.
Even the shitty Disney Plus series couldn't kill the fanboys.
Yeah. In FFG playtesting room.
Yeah. Exactly. So what do you think about because she's my favorite character out of the characters released, Iden. There is no Iden in top 16.
I think that's strange.
And she was all the rage in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think that's strange because Iden was the first one we both started with Vader, of course, but with TTS. But when I started playing like a competitive deck, I started with Iden. And I don't really I know why she fell off a little bit because Krennic came along and Krennic was just way better into aggro. But it's strange now.
Aggro faded out.
Yeah, it's strange now when aggro faded out and everyone is talking about her, how good she is in just stalling the game, basically mill you and be this common shithousery of play, the control style. That she didn't do that well. I actually can't believe that there was no one in the top 16.
So
especially because I think she's so. I started playing her because I wanted a way to beat the local Boba player.
Yeah,
like Garrett. He was very big in Destiny as well.
Yeah, I remember him.
Jan, like French champion and stuff. He's like playing yellow Boba from the get-go. That's all he plays right now, and he's a little bit of Chewy, which is also
the same strength,
which is also very annoying. So Iden was my answer to beat the mid-range yellow Boba, and it worked decently well, I guess. So it's very strange that no Iden made it to the top 16, but we don't know who piloted the deck.
Yeah.
So
I think my main problem with Iden was takedown.
Yeah.
You wait for 6 resources and you put her out and they just pay 4 and get rid of her. When instead you could just play Krennic and get access to the Steadfast Battalion. But now we've been going more late game. I think Iden is the way to go again. And with the how do you, Tobias, feel about like everyone putting in like vigilance off aspect, or basically what you would say?
Yeah, I just bought all the double aspect cards like aggression, command, cunning, and vigilance.
Yeah.
I only had 2 or 3 in my displays. I just bought them now because I think they will go up, all of them.
Yeah.
Um, and I tested the vigilance. I wasn't so keen about them at the beginning, but the more games I played with them, the more I saw how strong it can be. Because there was a card in Magic back in the day. It was called Cryptic Command.
Yeah.
It was like I loved the card because it was so you were never sad when you drew it. Like it was always good because it had so many possibilities. You can choose from 4 different things to do, and all of them are good in a way. So I think Vigilance is a great addition, and you see it in maybe like all blue decks now.
Yeah.
Everyone is playing it, even in the and everyone is paying 6 for it because they
Yeah.
no one plays the double blue deck, and that shows how strong it is.
It took
And
a while for people to realize. Yeah.
yeah, it took a while, and the same goes for Cunning. Like
Yeah.
Garrett, he started playing, or he tested the Boba Green,
Hmm.
and that was the strongest deck in the first couple of weeks of the game by far. Even still, I mean, it made top 2.
Yeah.
I think.
I
Yeah,
think
in
it's
the
still the most consistent deck in the
it
meta.
is the most consistent, but he just switched to Boba Yellow because of Cunning and the +4 just out of hand. You can just end the game then and there.
Yeah, and I think the random discard from Cunning can be
Yep.
so
Yeah.
cruel. Like
Yeah.
discarding cards in this game from opponent's
Yeah.
hand is just pure evil.
Yeah, card advantage. Even in that, as I said, like a couple of minutes earlier, in Destiny, like it's such a scarce resource, cards,
Yeah.
because there are no big draw mechanics. I mean, okay, you draw 2, but discarding a card. That's why I love Force Throw so much.
Yeah.
It has the versatility as well. You can discard your own big cards to smash something on the opponent's side. But just the discard alone, even if you can decide what card to discard, it's massive. So yeah, that's Cunning is. I think Cunning and Vigilance are just the first taste of what's to come of the double color aspects.
What do you think about the green
cards.
one?
I think that one is really good.
It costs 4, and you can put it down as a resource as well, and it has another effect. So it's basically, if you play mono green, it's the better resupply. The
Yeah,
resupply is in every green deck, is it?
more or less. I think not in
Yeah,
Sabine
most.
Green, for example,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Alea
Okay.
Green. But
Yeah.
but for anyone who wants to play more than 5 rounds, it's in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the command has like at least now it has the um there are diffuse decks it goes in well.
Yeah.
So but when we see the new set and there is basically the card pool doubles, we'll see all of them pretty regularly. And I'm very excited to see like really good mono decks like mono red, mono green, when there will be leaders that allow for that.
Yeah, I think because I was kind of surprised that these Cunnings and Vigilance were going to be possible to play of aspects, but I hope there will be more like double aspects things that makes it more appealing to play double blue or double yellow and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just like the aspect thing in general. Like when you look at like even some 2 drops, you see the power difference when there is like only one aspect symbol on the card,
Yeah.
or 2 different aspect symbols, because it limits the decks it can go into, so they can make it a bit more just a bit better.
Yeah.
I like that about the. That was a great idea by the designers to do it that way.
Makes it
Because
very easy, much easier for them to print good cards, without
yeah, exactly,
destroying the
and to
game
balance
completely.
between like if you take all the free drops now, and there's a nice balance between them, between how difficult are they to play,
Yeah.
like or in what deck they can go. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what what there will be in the future. Maybe even some like free aspect cards. We don't know.
Like,
can be really, really
possible.
good, but only go in a certain deck.
Yeah, because they would be quite expensive to pay if you don't have of the right aspects as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's the reason you can make them like really powerful.
So aggression is the worst of these 4 double aspect cards, is it?
I'm not sure. I think that one has quite. I actually from the beginning thought vigilance was the worst, but I was apparently so wrong. But like aggression has like real powers in aggro decks, readying a unit and stuff. But at the moment, command is probably worst, but it has a lot of potential, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, the aggression, just the readying aspect, could be like in cunning. It could be just game ending. You play it and you end the game because you can push in the last 5, 6, whatever damage.
Yeah, like one turn kill decks and stuff in the future will definitely run aggression.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, as I said, I think there will be we will see these cards a lot, and that's the reason why I bought them now, because the prices get out of hand completely.
Yeah, with how is the shortage in Germany? Do you still have German cards on the market?
No.
I don't know about German cards because that's another aspect I wanted to mention. Like it was impossible to get English cards for Destiny, and if so, it was super expensive.
Yeah.
Like maybe like 50% more than German cards. It was just ridiculous. They fixed that now, so you can just get English cards, English displays. It's the same price. But the shortage is real because I know I run the for our local store. I run the tournaments.
Yeah.
Most of the times, and it's like people asking for displays. And I was in Cologne a couple of weeks back at the tournament. They had like 2 or 3 weeks before, they had a sale, so they sold displays for $80. Yeah, because they thought, oh, we ordered too much, like we need to get rid of them. And it bit them really hard because like at the day of the tournament, I bought the last German display for Jan.
Yeah, for 100 it was. Right?
Yeah, 100 exactly.
I watched. I looked it up, and I tried to get another one since I have the money, right? But the first one you can get is in 100 days, if that's correct.
Yeah, I just heard that I got the newsletter from Asmodee, like the store newsletter.
Yeah.
And they said we can expect new English displays in Germany around May.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like late May or mid-May, but we'll see.
Do we have a date when the next edition drops?
Yes.
Someday in July, right?
Yep. It's the 5th and the 12th, I think.
Yeah. And the
like 5th is pre-release and 12th is release.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And the next display I can get, if I see it right here, is in June, mid-June.
Oh,
so that's great.
That's great.
Maybe it's on the same ship. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. The boxes in Sweden, the last one that was sold was almost €160.
Yeah.
It was
crazy. What is the regular price in Sweden?
Maybe like around 115 from the beginning.
Okay, I guess maybe just it's the same like in Germany. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe 160 was a little bit too much euro because the Swedish crown sucks immensely. So maybe 150 or something like that was how much it went up. But yeah, it's not been fun buying singles from Card Market and stuff with the Swedish currency. Let's just say that.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
But that's what happens when you have as much bombings and in like Mexico. So yeah.
What I saw, the Italians are pretty good at cracking boxes because all the cheapest rares and legendaries come from Italy. I don't know why. Maybe
because nobody wants to buy Italian cards. I'm not sure.
But even the English cards, even the Italian
players true.
English cards. Yeah, I don't know why.
They might have been having sales all along in Italy. That's where we should have ordered stuff.
There was a fun thing about the Destiny tournaments in the UK or in the US. They just wanted my German cards. Oh, that sounds so funny. And you could just trade in or even sell German cards because the Americans love the German names.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's insane. Like that's not here in Sweden. Nobody wants anything but English, But yeah,
is there a localization for Sweden?
like Swedish cards.
Yeah.
No, we're not big enough. But if some people, like when they misorder, get some Spanish cards, some German, and people get so confused.
But I think there is in Germany, it would be a big hindrance for the game if there wasn't a localization.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people whose English is just not good enough to play a game on that level. But I think the English fluency, like in the Swedish population, is much higher. So there is no real need for a localization, I guess.
No, I don't think. Yeah, as you say, I don't think there is any real need for it in any of the Nordic countries. Probably, maybe Finland. I'm not sure, but Finland doesn't seem to be very big in card games anyway. Now I'm roasting Finland in the Nordic Takedown podcast. That's great. But yeah, we've been jabbing on for an hour. Do you guys have any closing words that you want to mention here before we wrap this up?
I like the question time you had last podcasts. Do we have any questions from the Discord, or should I throw some in from a noob's perspective?
Yeah, you go from a noob's perspective, and I will look if there is some questions.
Yes. Okay, so just tell me, what's a sideboard?
Tobias, do you got that one? What's a sideboard?
Yeah, a sideboard. A sideboard is a fixed amount of cards that you are allowed to bring to a tournament. That is part of your deck in a way, but you aren't allowed to play in the first game. And after the first game of every best of 3, you are allowed to switch out as many cards as you want from your sideboard into your main deck. And then you can switch them out again for the possible third game, and then you have to revert back to the original game, and the cards from your sideboard go out of the deck, and you have to play with your original deck in the next game.
Awesome. How many cards can I bring in a sideboard?
10. I think you have to bring 10, right? If you bring a sideboard, it have to.
I think it's 10 or 0. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard something about that.
And which deck types are there? Is there mill?
Sort of.
Sort of.
I think
mill
there
control mill.
Yeah, the Iden Red is pretty mill. I think it's basically 0 units, maybe only Avenger.
I think that's the only real mill deck there is.
Yeah.
I think you can call that a real mill deck. All the other Iden decks, they have the option. It's an additional win option, but usually you win the games by
hitting the face with Avengers and walkers.
So you have aggression, long range, late game, and mid range, and control.
Yeah, I think right now you have the classic card game cycle of aggro decks in the first couple of weeks. Then it gets aggro at mid range, and at the end of a cycle, like before the next cards drop, it's the control meta. I think that's what we see in the tournament results right now.
And my last question, thank you. My last question goes to Jason. Why is the moose so loud? It's I like this the in the intro. That's such an epic song. It's not Star Wars, but it feels like Star Wars.
It's pretty close to.
I would like to know how he made this. I think it's self-made, right? Since you
the sound of the intro,
you would get copyright claims, right? And then this moose, I just feel like it starts epic and then it's
it ends in a disaster. It's because we want the people to have the right mood when they listen, with zero expectations.
I thought, to be honest, that's the what is it, episode 7 or 8? When Luke goes to the shore and gets the blue milk.
Yeah.
It's the sound of that animal, right?
Yeah.
It's not a moose.
I think it is a moose, the Swedish moose. I think.
Yeah, I know, but that when I heard that, it's like, oh, now I have to look that up.
Yeah, and it's quite similar what people thought about Star Wars movies when this epic character Luke drinks this milk, so it would fit.
It fits.
At least it was a throwback to the first movie, drinking blue milk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. At least it was that.
Yeah, but you don't drink like that.
Blue milk from a dinosaur.
No, don't do that. Yeah. Yeah.
So I will. Wrapping up things sucks. I am so bad at it. But I will thank both you, Jan, and Tobias for coming on. And we would love to have you back at some point, more regularly, if you guys want in the future. We'll see, unless the European crowd really hates Jan, most likely.
Absolutely, it was fun to be here, and hopefully you
never
won't
come back.
have to listen again to my voice.
I think Jan didn't make any friends with his box opening stories, so everyone just switched off in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah. It was an honor to be here. Hope to see you guys here in Germany on some tournaments, or maybe all around Europe.
Yeah, for sure. I will be traveling.
Yeah,
I still have no kids.
We'll start traveling again. It's harder now. Everyone is more into their jobs and stuff, but I think we'll see each other on the road.
Sounds good. All right, take care, everyone, and may the force be with you.
And you. Bye.